When everything is going right, that doesn't happen all the time. You're totally in the moment. There's nothing else going on in your head. You're completely focused. And I mean, that's amazing. Everything else is just living up for that time when you're on stage. And that's when you feel, oddly enough, the most like you. My name is Jimmy Cassidy. I've been doing comedy off and on for probably 3 or 4 years. Still kind of at the amateur stage. I like to be doing this professionally. A lot of people just assume that if you're funny in real life, you know, if you're funny at a party, if you're just, you know, a class clown or whatever, that automatically translates into being funny on stage, which is not true at all. I mean, that's one of the first things you learn out really quickly when you first start comedy. You need a structure. There's a certain paradigm you got to follow, a certain loose structure that you have to have. You have to have punchlines, you have to have setups, you know what I mean? You have to do certain things or it's just not going to work.
Yeah, this is one I did a while ago, and you kind of notice I step on my punchlines a bit. I don't let people laugh. I look a little bit more nervous, a little bit more tight.
And the trick is to make that as seamless as possible. The better you get.
Just don't look as comfortable on stage as I do now, I think.
Yeah, I feel pretty good, just a little nervous. So it's usually just before I go on stage, I got a couple jitters, but as soon as I get my first laugh in, it's all good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good. I got some friends in the audience, which is always nice, and crowd seems nice and warmed up. So hopefully it'll go fairly well. I think it will.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very, very funny man, a very talented man, and the guy these guys came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Jimmy Cassidy!
I was reading about Jerry Seinfeld, and he did this thing where he would write every day, and he had a big calendar. He'd mark an X every day that he did like 4 hours of writing or something like that. I can't do 4 hours, that's ridiculous. But I tried to do the same thing, so I started, as you can tell, went very well for January, and now we're in February. It's not working so well, but I'll get back at it. I also just marked down all my gigs that I have, and reminders to call in to clubs and stuff like that. Hopefully by the end of the year, this will be all red.
The thing about when you're doing comedy, especially in Canada, I mean, generally you have to, at some point, move to Toronto. The main reason is, well, that's where everybody, I mean, that's where, if you want to get noticed, or that's where you have to go, but I mean, the main reason I'd like to do it is because it's just so much more stage time, right? I mean, that's so much more opportunity to practice and get better, and I mean, and that's what it's all about. Writing alone in your room only gets you so far, you know what I mean? You never know if something's going to work until you do it on stage.
Yes, as Dave mentioned, my name is Jimmy, which is it's a fun name to have because it's a verb, which is an action word for you GEDers out there. If you look up the verb to Jimmy in the dictionary, it means to achieve your goal successfully by awkward and/or creative means. Which is a coincidence because that's how the ladies most often describe my lovemaking.
I have yet to see his show, and Eileen, and my wife, has yet to see his show. I'm just waiting for him to say to me, why don't you come over one night? I think you'll like what I'm doing right now. I think it was James or my daughter who wrote something in a school essay that said when we have dinner, we never speak in our own voices. We all seem to do different accents, different voices, so there was always a lot of fun.
I've learned that it's never a good idea to try out your comedy on your 6-year-old parents. They're not too with it, not too hip to the groove. Like I mentioned before, I mean, you have to polish these jokes, even just word structures. You know what I mean? Like what was I talking about today? We're trying to word this joke right, and it's like the difference between sending emails to, sending emails to himself or sending himself emails. Could be the difference between getting a laugh and not getting a laugh. Yeah, so things have not been going well for me in the sex department. It's not even a department anymore, actually. It's just a desk at this point. It's very bad. They had to move it all the way to the bottom of the basement there. It's got some intern work in it. You know, he just spends his days hunched over his computer sending emails to himself. It's sad. I think I stretched that metaphor too far, but that's fine. That's fine. Let's just keep rolling. Awesome. No, it's a very strange personality you have to get into comedy, right? Because one part of you is confident enough to get up into a group of strangers and demand to be listened to, and to make them laugh as well. But then the other side of that is a crippling need for validation from strangers. I mean, after the shows, a lot of times, a lot of the comedians will hang out. And it's a weird thing because, I mean, when you're a comedian, there's no office. Your professional environment is not an office. And it's no set area. That's how you find out a lot about gigs you're gonna do and just setting up different things. And that's where that happens, right? So it's kind of like if you don't go out to those things, you're like missing a meeting or something at work. You know what I mean? That's kind of the equivalent, right?
Absolutely, and that is why I'm here right now, Jimmy. Is because I don't have. Every time my girlfriend, she goes, "That's stupid, it's funny or whatever."
You can make anything funny.
No, but I have no support or idea or feedback on anything.
That's super hard.
It's like I was there, like, see, that was funny.
The interaction between all the comedians is actually one of the most interesting things about the kind of social dynamic of comedians. You know, you'll very rarely have people go up to you and go, "Oh, that was a great show, man. Great, well done, awesome." You know what I mean? The best you kind of expect for is, "It's a good set." If you do really bad, people just don't say anything to you. The feeling when you get off stage, and it's been going really well, is you do feel that kind of you're still exhilarated, and you're also relieved. There's a big relief. But the weirdest one, though, is being bisexual, because that really only has the appeal of eating at Harvey's, right? I mean, because they're a little harder to find, but once you do, man, you can have it any way you like it. Oh, let me get this straight, sir. You want 2 patties, half a bun, and for me to squirt the hot sauce directly in your eye? That's right. Yeah, right there. You're at Harvey's. All right, guys, I'm Jimmy. Have a great night.
Jimmy Cassidy, everybody.